I'm a retired Navy, U.S. Navy Senior Chief. I'm a Master at Arms Senior Chief, which means that I was law enforcement in the military. I was also an investigator. I also was an electrician, and I was in the Navy's nuclear program. I was physical security in the military, security officer, anti-terrorism force protection officer. We get exposed to a lot of chemicals and a lot of situations. Like in Iraq, I lived on an old chemical dump. So part of the reason I got sick, I think, is because I was exposed to burn pits, like most of us were, and I was living on a chemical dump, and that off-gassing coming up into the air, it's gonna have an effect. And by the way, I was a health nut for 20 of those 25 years, eating the right foods, doing the right thing, and I still got sick. I was definitely sick. And I think the only reason I survived was A, to learn a lesson, which I did. It greatly humbled me to go from what I was to what I am now, and it gave me a new appreciation for people's suffering. When you retire from the military, there's part of an outbrief, and you're going to meet with medical and the VA, and you turn in your records, your medical records, and somebody goes through and evaluates them. So then you have to go through a long screening, many years long, kind of aggravating process where doctors poke and prod you and really examine you and because you know, in my case, I'm 100%, which means I get a full disability rating, a rating for chronic frustrating migraines. I have cervical spondylosis. I have arthritis. I have peripheral neuropathy because of pain. I can't stand too long because of pain. And I'm not talking about a little bit of pain. I'm talking about the kind of pain everything else kind of falls away and you start focusing on that. So like if I was your employee, I'd be like, hey, I need to go stand, or I need to go sit, or I need to go outside. I wouldn't be your employee for very long. The answer is yes, but only recently, like binaural beats. I started learning about binaural beats for meditation in 2009. So that had kind of an effect. I didn't finish it. I didn't do it all. I didn't feel like I was getting anything out of the time vested, even though I had an open mind. And I also happen to have in my house something called a biocharger, which is a Tesla coil, and these lights, these things that emit light that aren't connected to anything, because the Tesla coil frequency moving out is what's making them light up. And you know, they're the colors that are most helpful for us. And it's a frequency generator. So it's creating a Tesla field in a 10 or 12 foot radius right there in my house that I can just sit right in front of, and there are programs for everything there. But I still wasn't feeling like I was getting a palpable return from it. Even if I'm gonna sit there for 18, 20 minutes and just have this intention, and I just didn't feel like I was, benefiting from it. The first time was just where they kind of calibrate the machine to you. The second time, other than being relaxing, all I felt was, I don't know, a little more relaxed and a little easier. The night of the second time, as I was driving back home, and I tell people this, I honestly feel a vibration in my chest when I feel a truth, or I feel a centering, or I feel another vibration. It's a physical buzz, like it's a buzz right here. And what I began feeling was this buzz that moved throughout my body as I'm driving my car back to Murray. I'm 2.5 hours down the road. So as I'm driving, I'm having this kind of existential experience. I'm like, wow, this is really amazing. I'm around cars that typically will irritate me because I don't like to be in traffic. I do feel some anxiety, and I do feel some stress. I do feel some anger. None of that was present. I was like, I'm totally still in this experience, and I'm focusing on the buzz. I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. That night, since I said, well, I know these things are healing, I want to make certain that I get this treatment this night. So that night I was unable to, because I was still in some pretty severe discomfort, but the next morning I did. And that's when I had on Calm 2 this strongly vibrational, full body, buzzing, electric presentation that when I was done, I felt like I had shifted. I felt like I had shifted into a new, I haven't had a comfortable experience in a long time. Physical comfort, a lot of pain seemed to be kind of fading away, or much more manageable, or much easier to just dismiss or just ignore. I know it affects me. Nothing's affected me like this. Nothing.
This is affecting you.
Absolutely.
No doubt in your mind that it's affecting you.
No doubt at all. Anytime I can reduce my overall pain and it lasts, that's a big deal to me. When you live with pain for years, it's a big shift. I speak from a position of authority when I talk about it because I have that intrinsic background knowledge. I have experienced. I know what happened to me and what I've experienced and what's going on. Then I can convey honestly what I think is happening. I've tried 1,000 things, because I have. And out of those 1,000 things, maybe 25 were worth the money. I'm here to tell you, this thing right here, if you're gonna spend your money on something, you wanna try to get one of these.